Welcome. Welcome to Sports and Songs, Andy. This is our 1 year anniversary episode,
Yes.
episode 47. How are you doing today?
I am great. Yourself? You still in Florida?
We're still in Florida. We leave here in a couple of days. It's been nice. Didn't bring a razor with, so I'm a little scruffy. Kind of look like the Andy version here.
Yes.
It's fun.
Is that No Shave November thing? Is that what you're doing?
That's what I'll call
Anyone
it.
asks?
That's what I'll call it. So still down here monitoring some of the baseball events here. We've got some sports to cover today. We've got album of the week. We've got music, concerts, birthdays this week in sports, and this is our 1 year anniversary episode.
Yeah. Very exciting. I'm going to start off here with a little the pro wrestling stuff. You guys are seeing this on YouTube on Friday. You're going to hear it Sunday on the podcast. But AEW, as we're big fans of here, have their pay-per-view on Saturday night. Full Gear, it's called. Their matches, they got all their titles up for line. A couple other matches on there. Should be interesting. They got one match on there I want to point out is the Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara in the Elite Deletion match, it's called. That's the one that was supposed to happen at the last pay-per-view where they had the concussion injuries during it, and they had to make it real quick. So they're kind of redoing it real quick, kind of throwing the storyline in. They were trying to do something else, Sammy Guevara. They're kind of backstepping to this. But I think they're professionals to pull it off, but this will be a one and done for those two. I'll see how it goes. But there should be good matches on there. Check Fight TV, I think it is, FITE. Fight TV has it on. Check your cable provider for pay-per-view information on that. I know a lot of places you can see it. I've done it with WWE pay-per-views before. You can go on YouTube, and you can find a couple clowns sitting around talking about the pay-per-view. It's kind of like this. All you do is you see the two of these guys sitting on the couch watching the pay-per-view telling you what's going on. I got sucked into like 5 minutes of it once because I wanted to see what it was all about. 5 minutes of my life I'll never get back. But if you're that interested in what's going on, look it up and knock yourself out. If not, you'll see it all the next day. You'll see highlights on YouTube and Facebook and everything else. And you'll get at least my full recap here on the show next week of it. Rundown on the matches real quick. Championship match, Jon Moxley, the champ, against Eddie Kingston in an I Quit match. TNT Championship, or what we used to call in the days a TV title. They just call it the TNT Championship because it's on the TNT network. Ted Turner getting a plug in there. Cody Rhodes against Darby Allin. Speculation on that match, Sting. The wrestler Sting might be making an appearance in Darby Allin's corner.
Not the lead singer.
Not the guy from the police. No, not him. The other guy, the guy with the face paint. That guy.
Gotcha.
Steve Baldwin, yes. He rumored to make an appearance, you never know. AEW World Tag Team Champions, the FTR against the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks did mention it popped off on TV last night. If they don't win, they'll never ask for another world title shot. So they're already playing that card right away. Women's title, Shadida against Nyla Rose with Vicky Guerrero in her corner. Chris Jericho against MJF. That should be a good match. Stipulation, if MJF wins, he gets to join Jericho's group, the Inner Circle. If not, he just gets to be around. Talked about Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara. That's kind of like a good match. AEW World Championship Eliminator Tournament. They had a little 8-man tournament. Winner gets a shot at the title. It's going to be Kenny Omega against Hangman Page. Former tag team champs. Now they go against each other. Typical wrestling storyline there. And then what they call the buy-in show, the one that's kind of free before the pay-per-view, but rumor is they might add this to the regular card. Orange Cassidy against John Silver. John Silver is about 4'9". He's just a little guy. He's, sorry, Mom, he's built like a brick shit house. He's a big muscle-wise. Orange Cassidy's kind of a comedy character. He's good. So, but they can both put on a good show. So that should be a good, entertaining match right there. Very interesting, very exciting. So watch that. Read your pay-per-view reviews and see what we say next week on that. Getting back to NWA, like I said, no word yet on what they're doing. Nick Aldis is the only guy who's really out. I looked up their website. They still list Nick Aldis as the champ. And I said last week, James Storm went to TNA. So they must have vacated the tag team titles. According to NWA's website, James Storm and Eli Drake are still tag team champions. So don't know what's going on there. Again, stay tuned. Stay tuned, as we say in the business. Speaking of championships and awards, on MLB, their website the other day, they gave out Gold Gloves. So I don't know if this is the official Major League Baseball Gold Gloves or the network. I think it's the official Major League Baseball Gold Gloves. The other awards like Rookie of the Year, MVP, they go out next week. We'll run down the Gold Glove winners here real quick. First base for the American League, Evan White of Seattle. He was the 17th overall pick just back in 2017. And so this is his first Gold Glove. And National League went to Anthony Rizzo of the Cubs. It's his third straight, fourth in 5 years. Second base, Cesar Hernandez of Cleveland, his first career Gold Glove. And Wong for the Cardinals. He captured his second consecutive Gold Glove. I like watching him. Colton Wong, he's fun to watch. Nice little player, good, solid glove. Now, I'm a National League guy, so I'm kind of biased, but yeah, he's good to watch. Shortstop, American League winner, J.P. Crawford of Seattle, his first Gold Glove. And National League, of course, again, with the Javi Baez, his first Gold Glove, which is surprising to me, but Javi's a good player. So congrats to him. Third base went to Isaiah Keener Faleta of Texas. It's his first full season as an infielder. He used to be a catcher and play other infield spots. This year they said, nope, you're playing third base, by God, and you got to go glove for it. So hats off to the coaching staff for seeing ability in him there. And the National League winner, of course, went to Aredo of Colorado with his 8th straight Gold Glove there. Left field. I remember it used to be just outfield. They get to 3 outfielders before, but now they've designated left field, center field, right field. Left field for the American League went to Alex Gordon of Kansas City. Even though he announced his retirement, he is taking home a Gold Glove on the way out the door there. National League went to Tyler O'Neill of St. Louis, his first career. Center field went to Robert of the White Sox.
Oh, yes.
Robert.
Rookie.
And Trent Grisham of San Diego got his in the center field. So two good, a lot of first-time Gold Glovers this year too. Nice to see that changing of the guard, if you will. Right field, Joey Gallo of Texas, his first. And, of course, Mookie Betts, his 5th straight. Catcher, Robert Perez of Cleveland, his 2nd straight Gold Glove there. And Tucker Bernhardt of Cincinnati got his 2nd. Now, his 2nd straight and his 2nd, his first was back in 2017. Pitchers, Griffin Canning of the Angels got his first one. And Max Fried of Atlanta. Finally, an Atlanta Brave gets a Gold Glove. A pitcher besides Maddox. So that's the Gold Gloves. We'll see how that all turns out. Really, this has nothing to do with MVP races. You're not going to get a Gold Glove and MVP. Very rarely is that tied hand in hand. I think Mookie Betts might be the exception to that one. But touching base back on the KBO, we talked about that last week, how their playoffs were starting, how they're going on. They've changed it up a little bit this year, the number of games played, going through it. But the playoffs have started. The KT Twins are moving on. They won the first round, so they'll be moving on. And like I said, just kind of watch the ESPN app and their networks. They'll be showing you the games on there. The Twins did win over the Heroes. The 4 seed beat the 5. So that's where it goes right there. And they're behind 1 game to nothing right now in the other bracket. But like I said, step ladder format. 4 against 5. One goes 3, 2. The number 1 seed has been sitting there. The Dinos are going to sit there a while. But they rattle these games off pretty quick, too. So they don't have a lot of travel days. They'll pump these out and get going. Australian Baseball League. If you follow our Facebook page, you see we got a lot of posts on there. A handful of guys come up from there. The thing that's neat about the Australian Baseball League, I'll watch it on YouTube, watch the highlights on there. The first weekend's a 3-day weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But Saturday's a doubleheader. Besides that, they only play weekends. 4 game sets on weekends. That's how they play. Saturday through Tuesday. That's what they do. So you can watch the games on there. They get about 40 games in a year. So when you hear, oh, this guy hit 15 home runs. Okay, it's a 40-game season, so that's pretty darn good. Look at how our COVID-shortened season went this year with numbers. So but they play these games a lot. You'll see some names on there. One name you might see, we talked about it at the end of the season last year when they came up with it, Manny Ramirez. 48-year-old Manny Ramirez signed as a DH there. So if that's Dan, he might be trying out for your team next year. He's 48. He qualifies. Maybe you can go to play in Australia, get some swings in the offseason here.
Oh, yes.
Yes, see if that's – yeah. I'm sure the wife would have no problem you spending December, January, and February in Australia.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah, I think she'll be okay with that.
Be down with it.
Yeah. So go down there, get that in. But yeah. So and this is like I said, maybe one guy might come up. You hear a couple guys. Liam Hendricks, relief pitcher for the A's this year, could get the old Rolaids Relief Man Award. He played in Australia. So a lot of guys you see come up every now and then. A lot of good pitchers down there. You don't see really guys go down there to rehab an injury though. If they've been up and cut and think they got a shot, then they'll go there. Or they're like Manny Ramirez is kind of, I want to give it one last shot, but I don't want to be with the team in the minors. I want to go down here and do it. They might do that too. WCHA hockey is getting ready to start kicking up here again. They got their rankings out. Right now, our boys, the Bemidji State University Beavers, are coming in at 15 in the preseason ranks. First is University of North Dakota's 1. Hate to say it, hurts to say it, but yeah. Boston College 2, Duluth 3, Denver 4. Minnesota State University, Mankato. We used to call it Mankato State. They're at 5. Trying to look down the street here. Penn State at 9, Ohio State 10, Michigan at 12. There's the Gophers at 13. So yeah. But they'll be getting started here pretty soon. Watch for those. Again, speaking of championships and playoffs, NASCAR this weekend. They're down to the championship 4. They're down to 4 guys left. That doesn't mean they're going to be the only 4 on the track. The other guys are out there too. I got Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, and Brad Keselowski. If you saw the race the way it ended last week, Kevin Harvick won 9 races this year. He is not in the championship 4. He didn't make the cut. He didn't get enough points. He missed like 1 point. Last couple laps of the race, he made a tough move. He tried to pass Logano. They both wrecked. Harvick didn't make it. Now Logano's in, so no harm, no foul there. Harvick had to do what he had to do to get in. Yet, you play to win the game, So he didn't make it in. So just because he won all those races in the season does not automatically put him in the championship. They still have their playoffs, like everything else, which is kind of the way what NASCAR wanted to do with this. It does help you in seeding and for points. It's still total points for the race. It's not just who does the best. They will start in order of how they finish, though. So Chase Elliott's the 1 car, Joey Logano 2, Keselowski's 3, and Denny Hamlin's 4. Now, one thing you got to remember with NASCAR, they also have points for manufacturer points. So like Ford, Chevy, they get points. Toyota, they all have points. And also your owner. There's Hendrick Motorsports. That's who Chase Elliott's with. Penske, that's Logano and Keselowski. And Joe Gibbs Racing is who Denny Hamlin's with. So other guys on Joe Gibbs Racing might not let these other guys pass so Hamlin can get up, or they may draft him or let them draft him to get up. So you kind of see team play here in a little bit. Logano and Keselowski had the same team. Got to pick who's going to help who, other racers. But you see the guys from Joe Gibbs Racing and Hendrick Motorsports are going to help their guys out. They're not going to crash anybody. They're not going to do that. It's not dirty pool like that. No. But when it comes to drafting or maybe not letting someone pass is easy. It's not unwritten rule. When you're 2 laps down, the guy's coming around, go up to the top of the track, let him pass you. Anyway, if you're trying to catch up to my boy right here in the championship race, maybe not so much. So not dirty pool, but team play. No one's going to try to crash anybody, though. It's not that dirty. But so it's fun to watch. I really enjoy it. That race is Sunday at 2 o'clock Central Time on NBC. Again, should be exciting to watch. If you enjoy NASCAR, here's their Super Bowl. Everybody says Daytona 500 is like the Super Bowl because it's the most points race at the beginning of the year. But this is for their championship. This is their World Series, their Super Bowl, their Stanley Cup, all at one shot. So we'll see how it goes. Chase Elliott, son of Bill Elliott, kind of wants to get that championship so he can get out of the old man's shadow. Other guys, Logano and them have all won it before. It would be nice to see Chase finally get one. It'd be nice to see the Napa team get another one there. I'm kind of biased on that. Minnesota high school sports. Max Prep again. We're going with our top threes. This is as of the 3rd, as of the other day. So these are pretty up to date for the weekend. You guys check out Max Prep Sports. They cover the whole nation. So no matter what state you're in, you just pick your state and pick your top three. We're kind of partial here in Minnesota. We're going to just go over the Minnesota teams. For football, for 6A, Lakeville South, Eden Prairie, and St. Michael Albertville are your top three there, all at 4-0. 5A, you got Moorhead and Andover, both at 4-0, and Rogers at 3-1 comes in at 3rd. Max Prep, they use strength of schedule. They use analytics. So these aren't just coaches. These are all analytics. So you may be going, hey, our team's 4-0. Why are we up there? It's analytics. Just no one coaches. It wasn't. Dan and I didn't sit down and write these down. This is not us. 4A, Rocori Cold Spring 4-0 at first. Wilmer and Becker rounded off. Wilmer 3-1, Becker 2-1. In 3A, you got Cannon Falls at 4-0, Waseca 3-1, and Albany at 4-0. 2A, you got Caledonia at 3-0, then North Community in Minneapolis and Blue Earth both at 4-0, rounding out the top three. 1A, you got Blooming Prairie at 3-0, number 1. Mayor Lutheran 4-0, number 2, and Breckenridge 3rd at 4-0. Mayor Lutheran's got a good young team. Kind of buddies with Chris Guston, the activities director. You always want to say athletic director. I change activities director. And friends of ours, their kids are on the team too. So of course I see them pop them up on Facebook all the time. Like, yeah, great, you won again. Okay, I didn't realize like, man, they're 4-0 already. Well, they're second in the so Mayor Lutheran's got a good young team. Good. I like what they got going on out there. Keep an eye on them. If not this year, next year, they got some young youth out there. 9-man, Hancock, Grand Meadow, and Renville County West are your top three, all at 4-0. Volleyball. Here's where it gets a little sketchy now because of games played and everything else. So this is where the analytics come in on why people are ranked where they are. Volleyball 3A, you got Maple Grove at 8-0, Egan at 3-0, Northfield 8-0. 2A, Stewartville 7-0, Albany 5-0, St. Croix Lutheran, and West St. Paul at 6-0. And then 1A, you got Mabel at 7-0, Foston at 7-0, and Waterville, Elysian, Morristown at 2-0. So that's the high school sports there. I want to tap out a little bit with college sports. College football, this is the second week in a row Wisconsin's not playing. Now, I didn't look at their seeding or the top 10s or top 25s for college football this week because it's going to get real ugly now. Here's Wisconsin was up there. Okay, there's 2 weeks in a row they didn't play. Yeah, I think they should get penalized and dropped, but their opponents really shouldn't get penalized and dropped either for not playing. So I don't know how that's all working out. I haven't seen the top 25. I apologize for not having that with us. Games of this weekend, you can see a lot more. I know Clemson held on to 1. They're playing Notre Dame. Quarterback's out with COVID. Might come back. This is all what we were afraid of, was how it's going to work out. I haven't heard for sure for college football what they're doing for bowl games. They're still going to have some. I know they still want their championship. I mean, is there going to be an Alamo Bowl and a Chick-fil-A Bowl and everything else? I don't know. We'll see from there. But that is what I got for sports, Dan. You got anything to add, sir?
I've got a couple things. NFL tonight, Green Bay Packers at the 49ers, little Thursday night football. Now for Saturday, Gophers, the Gopher fans out there, 0-2. Gophers have given up 94 points in 2 games.
Wow.
Defense, not that stellar, let's say that.
Yes.
Now what they're doing Saturday, they're at Illinois. Illinois is kind of in the bottom third of the Big Ten. Not that good. Should be able to win, but it's on the road. Who knows with this season? What's going to happen? The over-under is 62 for this ball game. Gophers are a 7-point favorite. And so I'll take all that with a grain of salt because who knows what's going to happen or what team's going to show up.
Yeah.
Now, I know you've got your This Day in Sports coming up.
Yes.
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
You is the Golden Gopher 60th anniversary on that list?
No, sir.
60 years ago today, we're talking here November 5th. 60 years ago, the biggest win in the sports Gopher football history. When they played, they were third-ranked Gophers in 1960, third in the nation, playing Iowa Hawkeyes, ranked number 1 in the nation. 1960, Gophers beat Iowa on this day in 1960. That's your 60 years ago today anniversary. One of the biggest wins, sent them off to the Rose Bowl that season. And boy, one of the biggest games for Golden Gopher football history. Now, I've also got a pro football note.
Yep.
Not NFL, XFL. XFL.
Oh.
XFL has announced to take 2021 off, the entire year, 2021 off. They'll regroup, get everything back together. There's some lawsuits going on with owners and management. There's some things all going on after the COVID shut the season down halfway through in 2020. They'll be back in 2022. So that's all I've got for sports.
Wait, you got
XFL news.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson owns them now.
Yeah, there's new ownership. Dwayne "The Rock" is at the helm, and I think it's a wise decision to take the full year off. Let the dust settle with the corona and the pandemic and all these lawsuits going back and forth with Vince McMahon and whatnot. And then get all their ducks in a row for the 2022 season, and that could be – it was very popular. And so that's all I've got for sports
all right.
this week.
All right, we'll go through the history and birthdays for sports. We'll start with that end. November 2nd, 1969. Quarterbacks Billy Kramer of New Orleans and St. Louis's Charlie Johnson each passed for 6 touchdowns and combined NFL record 12 touchdown passes in one game. The Saints beat the Cardinals 51-42 at Busch Memorial Stadium. 1971. Baltimore Orioles pitcher Pat Dobson, no hits. The Yomiuri Giants, 2-0, the first no-hitter in history of exhibition play. In the 70s and 80s, we used to send an all-star team to Japan, and we'd play. It was kind of back and forth. So we send our all-star pitcher over there, and he no-hits the Japanese all-stars. So, 1972, Phillies pitcher Steve Carlton is unanimously selected National League Cy Young Award winner. He wins 27 games for the Phillies, the team who only won 57 games that year. 1988, A's shortstop Walt Weiss wins AL Rookie of the Year. Third straight for Oakland, behind Jose Canseco in 86 and Mark McGwire in 87. So 3 straight years of Rookie of the Year there for the A's. 1990, first NBA game at Target Center. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Rolando Blackman's top scorer for 21 points as the Wolves beat the Mavericks 98-85. 1996, Miami Heat's Pat Riley becomes the 8th coach with 800 wins in a 97-95 win at Indiana. Milestone was accomplished 2 weeks shy of his 15th coaching anniversary. Faster than any other coach in NBA history to get that point. 1916, birthday. Al Campanis, Greek baseball second baseman and executive. First Greek player in Major League Baseball history. He was a GM of the Dodgers in 68 through 87. He was born in Greece. 1926, Meyer Skoog, American basketball guard for the NBA championships 52 through 54, Minneapolis Lakers, born in Duluth, Minnesota. November 3rd, 1926. Legendary baseball figure Ty Cobb resigns as Detroit Tigers manager, replaced by George Moriarty. Moriarty is the first man to hold baseball's 4 principal jobs: player, umpire, scout, and manager.
Really?
He made his major league debut on September 7th, 1903, at the age of 19 with the Cubs. He was an average hitter, but an outstanding base runner with 20 or more stolen bases for 8 consecutive seasons and 248 career stolen bases, including 11 steals of home. He played his last major league game May 4th, 1916, with the White Sox. Afterwards, he became an American League umpire from 1917 through 1940, interrupted only by his 2-year stint as manager of the Tigers from 27 to 28. He was one of the AL's most highly regarded umpires in his era, working in the 21, 25, 30, 33, and 35 World Series, and crew chief in 30 and 35, as well as a second All-Star game in 34. Here's where it gets fun about him being a man's man back in the day with baseball. Some of the stories here as I was looking him up. I couldn't find out when his dates were as a scout, but I'm just going to take the word on it for there. But on Memorial Day in 1932, Moriarty worked behind the plate for the Cleveland Indians' home game against the White Sox, when several Chicago players took exception to his calls. He challenged them to settle the dispute under the stands in League Park after the game. Pitcher Milt Gaston took him up on it first, and Moriarty knocked him out flat, breaking his hand. Several White Sox players, including manager Lou Ferrasa and catcher and future AL umpire Charlie Berry, took him on in turn. The next day, AL president Will Harridge issued numerous fines and suspensions, 10 days for Gaston. It was reported that once Moriarty was umpiring, none other than Babe Ruth stepped out of the batter's box and asked Moriarty to spell his last name. And when he did so, Moriarty is spelled Moriarty. When he did so, Ruth replied right back at him, just as I thought, only one eye. Moriarty also noted for coming to the defense of Tiger slugger Hank Greenberg in the 35 World Series, eventually won by Detroit, when he warned several Chicago Cubs to stop yelling slurs at Greenberg, anti-Semitic slurs at Greenberg. When they defied him and kept up the abuse, he took the unusual stance of clearing the entire Chicago bench, a move that got him fined by longtime Commissioner Judge Mountain Landis, known primarily for keeping blacks out of Major League throughout his quarter-century in office. 3 years later, when Greenberg was pursuing Babe Ruth's single-season home run record, Moriarty again was at the final game of the 38th season, umping. Going until darkness made it impossible to continue, Greenberg finished with 58 home runs, 2 shy of Babe Ruth's record. 1953, Major League rule. Okay, that's the end of the Moriarty stories, but I thought it was pretty interesting.
That's good.
1953, Major League Baseball Rules Committee restores the sacrifice fly rule, eliminated in 39. Rule says a sacrifice fly is not charged as a time at bat. 1980, after acquiring the Major League Baseball A's for $12.7 million, Walter Haas Jr. appoints himself CEO, leads the team to 4 AL West championships and titles in 89 series. Wait now, bottom in 80. I got this. Those 4 titles were between the Twins World Series wins, wasn't it? Between 87 and 91. Didn't the A's win the West those 4 years?
I think so.
1982, pitcher Pete Vlachovich becomes Milwaukee Brewers' 2nd consecutive American League Cy Young Award winner. Edges Jim Palmer of the Baltimore Orioles. He was 18-6 with 105 strikeouts and a 3.34 ERA. You may also recognize that name as he played Haywood in the Major League movies. He played the first baseman for the Yankees. That was the pitcher there. 1985, Bill Elliott, father of Chase Elliott, as I talked about earlier, wins the Atlanta Journal 500 at Atlanta Raceway to become the first driver to win 11 super speedway races in one season, and also the first driver to win $2 million in prize money in a single season. 1989, NBA expansion Minnesota Timberwolves make their NBA debut, lose 106-94 to the Seattle Supersonics up in Seattle. Ty Corbin was the T-Wolves' leading scorer with 20 points. 1983, Greg Maddux becomes the first pitcher since Sandy Koufax to win the National League Cy Young Award in successive Major League seasons, and the first to successfully seasons with 2 different teams. Maddux got it with the Cubs in 92, and then was traded to the Braves and got it in 93 there. So you trade the Cy Young Award winner away for him to come back and win Cy Young again. 1996, San Francisco 49ers receiver Jerry Rice grabs 3 passes for 45 yards and a touchdown to become the first player in NFL history to reach 1,000 career receptions in a 24-17 win over the Saints. He finished his career with 1,549 catches, 1,549 catches.
Wow.
Birthdays, 1908, Bronco Nagurski, Canadian-American football player, Hall of Famer for the Chicago Bears. Born in Rainy River, Ontario. 1918, Bob Feller, Hall of Fame pitcher. AL Triple Crown winner for pitchers in 1940. 3 times he had no-hit games. Was born in Van Meter, Iowa. 1949, Larry Holmes, American boxer, world heavyweight champion, 20 successful title fights. Larry Holmes, for those of you who don't know who Larry Holmes is, Michael Strahan, Larry Holmes invented the gap between the front teeth, okay? Strahan's copying him. That's all I got to say. 1955, Phil Simms, quarterback for the 86 Giants, MVP. More on this day. Now he's broadcast between ESPN and NBC. He's popping out all over broadcasting. 1958, Derek Cope, American race car driver, won the Daytona 500 in 1990. Born on this day. November 4th, 1953. New baseball park rule gives the batter option of accepting the outcome of a pitch or the balk. So that was pretty interesting, I thought. Birthday for that day, 1967, Eric Karros, first baseman for the Dodgers. 1968, Carlos Baerga for the Cleveland Indians, second baseman. November 5th, 1967, New Orleans Saints' first NFL victory. They beat the Eagles 31-24. And in 1968, first American League pitcher to win MVP, Denny McClain. He won it unanimously. And he went to prison a few years later. Birthday is 1952, Bill Walton. Hall of Famer, championships in 77, 86, finals MVP in 77, thousands of Grateful Dead concerts he'll tell you about. One thing about Bill Walton, story I heard about him, remember the TV show Land of the Lost? The Sleestaks, the big green guys? That was filmed in LA, and to find tall enough guys, they went and got basketball players from the local college to do it. So Bill Walton was a Sleestak in one of those episodes.
He was? Oh,
yes.
Really? I didn't know that.
Have I ever lied to you on this stuff, Dan?
Bill Walton was a Sleestak?
Yes. I'm not sure if it's on IMDb now. I can't fact check that, but I'm going off Bill's stories.
Great tidbit right there.
Yes. A guy who's been to hundreds of Grateful Dead concerts, I'm pretty sure has a great memory of other stuff too. November 6th, 1976, former Twins relief ace Bill Campbell is the first free agent to sign with a new team, joining the Red Sox for $1 million over 4 years. 1981, our boy from last week, Fernando Valenzuela, first rookie to get the Cy Young Award. Birthdays, 1861, James Naismith, Canadian-American physical educator and inventor of basketball and the football helmet, was born. 1887, still in the 1800s, Walter Johnson, Hall of Fame pitcher for the Washington Senators. It's kind of a local guy, so that's why we mentioned that. 3-time Triple Crown winner for them, World Series in 24, AL MVP in 1913 and 24. Born in Humboldt, Kansas. 1976, Pat Tillman, American football player and U.S. Army Ranger, born in Fremont, California. 1986, Nick Aldis, the NWA wrestling champion, Nick Aldis, I mentioned earlier, Nicholas Aldis, was born in the United Kingdom, 1986. November 7th, 1989, Baltimore's Greg Olson, the pitcher, not the catcher. 2 G's, Greg. It was the first relief pitcher to win AL Rookie of the Year. 1991. To me, this is one of those things that like everybody knows where they were when they heard this. 1991, Magic Johnson announces he has the HIV virus and retires from the Lakers. To me, that's kind of one of those things you kind of remember where you were, what you were doing in your life at that time, you know.
It was right after the Halloween blizzard in Minnesota.
Yes.
That's when he announced it. Okay.
Yep. Later that next week, yep. Birthdays, 1938, Jim Cott, or as Kirby Puckett liked to call him all the time, Kitty. Jim Cott played pitched broadcaster for the Yankees and Twins. He was born in Michigan. He has a lot of stuff on MLB Network every now and then too. Jim Cott, very smart man. 1944, Joe Niekro, American League Baseball pitcher, All-Star in 79, National League wins leader in 79 for the Houston Astros, World Series in 87 with the Twins, He also had the fingernail foul. He tried to pitch out there.
Emery Board, yep.
Emery Board, yep. Born in Martins Ferry, Ohio. November 8th, 1997, the Tampa Bay Devil Rays named their first manager Larry Rothschild. Birthdays, 1929, Bobby Bowden, football coach for Florida State, born. From 76 to 09, had the championships in 93 and 99 with Florida State. Born in Birmingham, Alabama. 1965, Mike Palazzo, American National Hockey League left wing for the Devils, born in Pegley, Minnesota. And that does it for sports history and birthdays. Transition to the music stuff. November 2nd, 1985, the Miami Vice soundtrack album featuring the #1 hit theme song tops the album charts in America, ushering in a new age of TV soundtracks. Also in 1985, Part-Time Lover hits #1 on the Hot 100 22 years after Stevie Wonder's first topped the charts in 1963. So Stevie Wonder, 22 years apart, still top of the charts. 1968, Jose Feliciano, his unique rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner, which he performed on an acoustic guitar for Game 5 of the World Series on October 7th, enters the Hot 100 at number 89, making it the first version of the U.S. national anthem in the chart. It peaked at number 50. Many singers started adding their own flavor to the song. The next version of the chart was Whitney Houston's Super Bowl performance in 1991, which hit number 20. 1987, George Harrison released Cloud 9, a commercial comeback that includes the #1 hit, Got My Mind Set on You. It's his last album he puts out before he passes away a couple years after that. Birthdays, Bobby Dahl, bassist for Poison. Born Robert Harry Kuykendall, born in Pennsylvania. 1962, Ron McGovern, the original Metallica bassist, born in Los Angeles, California. McGovern can be heard on the first Metallica demos, Power Metal and No Life Till Leather. November 3rd, 1990. I know this will bring back great memories for you. Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice hits #1 in the U.S., making it the first time a rapper had topped the charts.
What's his real name?
Robert Van Winkle?
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that. Robert Van something?
Yeah, it's Van Winkle, I think.
Van Winkle or something. And Ice Ice Baby is also Under Pressure. Is it Under Pressure by Queen? Yeah. Yep. Queen with David Bowie. Yep. 1998. Britney Spears, at the ripe old age of 16, releases her first single, Baby One More Time. 3 months later, it goes #1. She sings? Oh. 1979. Days after his 18th birthday, teen idol Leif Garrett, under the influence of drugs and alcohol, crashes his mom's Porsche 914 en route to buy cocaine. He escapes serious bodily injury, but his best friend Ronald Winkler is left paraplegic. 1954, Adam Ant is born. Stuart Gorgod in London, England. 1945, Nick Simpler, original bass player in Deep Purple, is born in England. November 4th, 2003, Skid Row's Sebastian Bach starts his recurring role on Gilmore Girls, an episode of The Festival of Living Art, as a guitarist who joins Lane Kim's band. You know, the wife and Abby, they watch that show all the time, and they never told me once Sebastian Bach was on there.
No.
I have to talk to them about that.
News to me, too.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I kind of peeked at the show every now and then, but I never remember Sebastian Bach being on there. 1984, Prince kicks off his Purple Rain tour with a show in Detroit. His opening act is Sheila E., who Prince penned the song The Glamorous Life for, and that reached #7 in America the previous month. Birthday is 1969. Sean Combs, who's known on his stage name as Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, and Diddy. It's kind of like John Mellencamp, it's kind of the same thing. Born in Harlem, New York. 1965, Jeff Scott Soto of Journey and the Yngwie Malmsteen Band is born in Brooklyn, New York. November 5th, 1988, the Beach Boys, who hadn't had a number one hit since Good Vibrations in 1966, topped the charts with Brian Wilson-less Kokomo, used in the movie Cocktail, the largest gap between number one hits for any artist. 2007, Garth Brooks plays the first of 9 sold-out shows at the Spirit Center in Kansas City, Missouri, which opened a month earlier. When baseball season began in 2007, the Kansas City Royals began the tradition of playing Friends in Low Places during the 6th inning of every home game.
That's how that got started.
That's the Kansas City Royals' fault.
Really?
Yep. Birthdays today. Bryan Adams, born in Kingston, Ontario, Canada. In 1947, Peter Noone of Herman's Hermits, born in England. 1911, cowboy singer and film star Roy Rogers is born Leonard Franklin Sly in Cincinnati, Ohio. November 6th, 2014, AC/DC drummer Phil Rudd is hit with charges of, quote, attempting to produce or to procure murder, quote, in a New Zealand court. The charges were dropped a short time later, but the media coverage caused a spike in downloads of the song Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap.
Exactly.
I don't write this stuff. I just copy it from other places, okay? Don't blame me. 1995, Queen released their Made in Heaven, an album pieced together from recordings made from Freddie Mercury's 1991 death. It debuted at number 1 in the UK. 1971, Isaac Hayes, soundtrack to The Shaft, hits number 1. 1971, Cher has her first number 1 as a solo artist with Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves, which is actually a good song. It's kind of a little catchy song. I like it. It's a few times I've gone to karaoke, I've heard people singing it. Kind of a catchy tune, all right? Full disclosure, I like Cher, okay? 1965, Get Off of My Cloud by the Rolling Stones hits number 1 in America for the first 2 weeks. The song was written in response to a record company pressure for a follow-up of I Can't Get No Satisfaction with another hit. 1964, Corey Glover, lead singer of the band Living Colour, is born in Brooklyn, New York. His future bandmate Vernon Reid, the guitarist, discovered him singing Happy Birthday at a mutual friend's party. That's how he discovered the singer for him. 1964, Greg Graffin, frontman of Bad Religion, is born in Racine, Wisconsin. In 1948, Glenn Frey, born in Detroit, Michigan, before he moved to LA, where he forms the Eagles with Don Henley, Bernie Leland, and Randy Master. November 7th, 2006. Originally due in the summer of 2005, the last album of the late Wu-Tang Clan rapper Old Dirty Bastard finally arrives. Release date for A Son of a Unique Coincidence coincides with the 2-year anniversary of his death in New York at the recording studio. So a little marketing ploy there by the young man's group. Birthday is 1957. Drummer John Jellybean Benitez is born in South Bronx, New York. He's a songwriter and producer. He worked with some people, Madonna, Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson. I guess he worked with some good people. 1943, Joni Mitchell was born, Roberta Joan Anderson, in Fort Macleod, Alberta, Canada. November 8th, 2012. A tragedy strikes at a Linkin Park concert in Cape Town, South Africa, when high winds cause scaffolding to collapse. This sends the advertisement tower plummeting into the crowd of fans in the parking lot after the show, killing 1 and injuring 19 more. 2008, AC/DC started a 2-week run at number 1 in the US with Black Ice, the band's 15th studio album. It goes to number 1 in 29 countries, including Australia, Canada, and England. I can't even name 29 countries. Okay.
Wow.
1977, Suzi Quatro makes her debut with 7 appearances on TV series Happy Days, playing Leather Tuscadero's little sister, Fonzie's ex-girlfriend, Pinky. Quatro was raised in Michigan but little known in America. In the UK, she's a star, and 2 number one hits with Double Gotta Drive and Can the Can. 1994, excuse me, Sonny Bono, half of Sonny and Cher, and former mayor of Palm Springs, California. Did you know that? He used to be mayor of Palm Springs.
That's right.
Was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. He made it all the way to the big house, the U.S. Representatives, representing the 44th District in California. Birthdays, the aforementioned Leif Garrett, born in 1961. 1949, Bonnie Raitt was born in Burbank, California. Bonnie Raitt, very, very good guitarist, very underrated in my opinion. I mean, everything's, oh yeah, she's great, she's all those, but a lot of people, more people listen to Bonnie Raitt than they admit. Let's put it that way, I think. That's my opinion. I listen to Bonnie Raitt. There, I said it. I listen to Cher, I listen to Bonnie Raitt.
There.
What more do you want out of me? That's what I got, sir. That is my This Week in Sports and Music, History, and Birthdays.
Good stuff.
What do you got in the Sony Walkman this week?
Well, we got the episode 47 here today, 1 year anniversary. I decided to pull out a little Screaming Trees. 1992 Sweet Oblivion album, kind of on the rock, grunge, Seattle genre. That's what I elected to pick out for this week. 1992, once again, 11 songs were released, and this is Screaming Trees for the songs this week. This album was their breakthrough album, and here's the song track listing. Song 1, Shadow of the Season. Song 2, most people heard of, Nearly Lost You. That's the one that was most popular song that came off that Singles soundtrack that really pushed Seattle into the limelight. Was the song Nearly Lost You by the Screaming Trees. Song 3 also got some considerable airplay, was Dollar Bill. That was the second song single released from the album. Song 4 is More or Less. Song 5, Butterfly. Song 6, For Celebrations Past. Song number 7 is The Secret Kind. Song 8, Winter Song. Song number 9 is Troubled Times. Song 10 is No One Knows. Song 11, Julie Paradise. So this was the breakout album that served as basically the Screaming Trees was viewed by many as one of the finest bands in Seattle, but they never gained the commercial success of bands such as Alice in Chains, Nirvana, Pearl Jam, or Soundgarden. Here's the members of the band. Here's where it gets interesting. The founder, 2 brothers, last name Connor, Van Connor and Gary Connor. Van Connor, both born in California. Van played bass, was a co-founder of Screaming Trees in 1984. He also worked in the past with Queens of the Stone Age and with the band Wormwood with Dylan Carlson. Dylan Carlson was friends of Kurt Cobain growing up in the area. That was Dylan Carlson was in a band called Wormwood. Now, Lee Gary Connor is the brother, formed the band. In the liner notes, he's known as Gary Lee Connor. Just flipped around first and middle names. Born in California, raised in Olympia. Born in California. So now we get to Barrett Martin on drums. Raised in Olympia, Washington. Worked with Queens of the Stone Age later on. Worked with Skin Yard. Worked with Mad Season. And also worked in a band called Walking Papers with Duff McKagan. Walking Papers. Yeah, Duff McKagan. And of course, lead vocalist Mark Lanigan from Ellensburg, Washington. Lead vocals. Known for his baritone, very deep baritone voice, Mark Lanigan. They say the reviews call him very similar to Leonard Cohen or even a Tom Waits. Lead vocals. Lanigan worked a lot with Kurt Cobain as well and worked with Mad Season and Queens of the Stone Age. So there's Screaming Trees, Sweet Oblivion, 1991, right when the grunge was hitting the scene in Seattle. Very well-known, popular band. Never really made it commercial. This Sweet Oblivion was their 6th studio album. And a lot of people have never even heard of the band, but if you pop in the singles soundtrack from the movie Singles, this was one of the top songs that really pushed them over. This album only went 3 times gold, 300,000 in sales, not even platinum. So that's the reason I picked this one. Lesser known band, flies under the radar. Good stuff though, and very popular in Seattle. That's what I've got for album of the week.
Nice. I when you said Duff McKagan on there, I'd heard Duff mention that band or read that name, the other bands he'd been in. So I was
Walking Papers. I didn't even know that band existed until I did the research for this. So we always learn something new here on the podcast.
That's what we hear. We're here to educate.
We're here to educate. Now, one final note, Major League Baseball fans out there, the season's over. We're in the off season now. Here's some upcoming dates. The owners' meetings will be November 17th, 18th, and 19th. And the next month, the winter meetings kick off December 7th through the 10th. They're going to do them all virtual this year. No on-site meeting. They were supposed to take place in Dallas, Texas, the annual winter meetings for Major League Baseball. They're going to do it all virtual through situations like this due to the pandemic. Now, the awards.
This is what we call the Hot Stove League.
Hot Stove League. Now,
Yeah.
Looking forward to next week for the baseball fans out there. The season's over. The awards will be announced. Rookie of the Year will be announced November 9th next week. The 10th will be the American and National League Manager of the Year awards. Remember, Rocco Baldelli is the reigning AL Manager of the Year. November 11th will be the Cy Young Award winners announced. And then MVPs for each league will be announced November.
Kenta Maeda is up for American League Cy Young.
Yes. He's in the top 3 for Cy Young Award. So MVP, November 12th. And I think that pretty much wraps things up. Like I said, the owners' meetings take place, the winter's meetings, the old infamous hot stove
And
takes place.
Jacob deGrom, third
Cy
star
Young.
coming up this year.
He's in the top 3, right?
Yeah, this will be 3
Finalists.
years in a row if he gets it. 3 in a row, just like Tom Seaver.
Oh, so that'll be one of our probably leading stories in next week's episode.
The beginning of season 2.
We're going to start season 2 next week here. This concludes season 1. We'll have a brand new season premiere next week on Sports Songs podcast.
Not much will change. We're still growing as we go along. If you want a good laugh, go back and listen to the early stuff.
Or
See how
the throwback. We'll have some throwback episodes.
Yes.
Heading into season.
We could miss a week and do a best of episode if we wanted. We had a year
It'll be
ago.
on time for the holidays. The best of.
Best ofs, yes.
So that'll be next week. Season 2 will kick things off with some of those things. And we are still to date the fastest growing podcast in all of Western Carver County. So
Right.
you can hang your hat on that, Andy.
No one can touch us.
No,
Rocket ship.
no.
Rocket ship.
Anything else for sports concerts?
Not many concerts. Again, keep checking out Medina. They're kind of doing some concerts away from our genre, our liking to. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not into the country.
How about we might also be putting together a playlist from Spotify, correct?
Come up for the 1 year. That's what we're working on. It'll be songs off all the albums we've picked for the week. Putting those together for a Spotify playlist for you to listen to. I know we're still figuring out how to do all this stuff with the podcast on playing songs afterwards. I know Spotify. Anchor is owned by Spotify. This is all through Anchor. So we're trying to figure out how to get a song to play in the background. So be gentle with us if we botch something up in the next few weeks as we learn to play. Anchor sent out an email today how they're changing different things, giving us new options to play with. Be gentle if we mess something up. We're still new at this.
And also, please leave your comments and questions and recommendations for future episodes here on the show.
Yeah, there's an album you want to hear for album of the week. Minnesota based. We cover all the high schools. If you want your high school mentioned, so Your protein,
right.
what's your favorite protein? We don't mention. Let us know. Unless it's
Well,
the Steelers, we won't talk about them.
well, for the 1 year anniversary show, this is Dan and Andy here signing off. Thanks again for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.
Happy trails.
Yeah.